Welcome to episode 31 of A Gamer Looks at 40. My name is Bill Tucker. And if you've listened to the show before, you've listened to one of these episodes. In case you don't know, before every interview I conduct, I ask my guests the same series of 3 questions. And then what I do is once I get enough of those questions and enough of those answers, I release them in a 3 questions episode, and we all have a good chuckle, or hopefully have a good chuckle. I usually try to space these out a bit more, but I did a ton of interviews in November trying to prepare for December when people are not available or traveling or anything else. And since I don't want to start my next series until January, which is going to be PC gaming from the early days and the N64 and delving into those eras, I figured this would be a good, not filler, because it's fun, but a good kind of filler episode to bridge the gap between now and then. But before I talk about the 3 questions, I have a lot of voices on the show this week, so let's just introduce them. First up on the show, you most recently heard him on episode 28 talking about difficulty in games, and he shared his love of Zelda on episode 10 way back in the day. Welcome back, Andrew Craig. Next up on the show, you've heard her a bunch on this program, and hopefully you're going to hear a lot more. Columnist, podcaster, and Hollow Knight superfan, Blue Williams. Next up, a man who needs no introduction because he's my brother. He's been all over this podcast and will continue to be for the foreseeable future. So please welcome back, Bobby Tucker. Next up, you know him from Games My Mom Found and as a regular contributor to the I Watched the Entire Overblood Super Replay group on Facebook. Friend of the show, Mr. Michael K. Hughes. Sliding into the 5th spot, why settle for one co-host when you can get both at one time? They've been sharing their insights on video games since this show's inception, so please welcome back Trevor and Jeff of New Dad Gaming Podcast. Occupying the 6th spot is, if you haven't heard my next guest story in episodes 26 and 27, you really need to. Just do that next after this show. Please welcome back video game world record holder Paul Tessie. 7th, a new friend of the show, and I love when we get new people on the show. It's just new voices are always a good thing. This highly entertaining streamer plays games from yesterday and today, all with a very signature brand of humor. And honestly, he genuinely loves his community. He has such a wonderfully produced Twitch stream. It's so much fun to just sit and hang out with him. And he usually streams later in the evenings, which is good for me because I don't sleep. I just never sleep. He's the host of the Super Nintendo Bros stream on Twitch. Super NIN, the number 10 Bros on Twitch. Please welcome Raji. Next up, in the 8th spot, you know him from nearly every super deep dive I've ever done on this show. He's the founder and lead contributor to thepixels.com, the-pixels.com, and can also be found on Twitter at the well-read mage, Mr. Moses Norton. And finally, batting last, but certainly not least, you know him as the host and organizer of the RGB High Score Video Game Challenge on Twitch, and you may not know this, but he is starting a brand new podcast at the beginning of January entitled Gamers Week. If you enjoyed Story Mode from earlier this year, you're going to love this show. It's a video game news show, all told from a unique perspective. It's going to be fantastic. Please welcome back Ryan. So the order for all of these, and I'll make sure I have that listed out before each question: Andrew, Blue, Bobby, Michael K. Hughes, New Dad Gaming, Paul Tessie, Raji, Moses, and then finally Ryan. Time for question number 1. If you were given the opportunity to sit across a table from a video game character, any video game character, for about an hour, and just pick their brain, ask them whatever you wanted, and got honest answers in return, who would you sit in front of and why? Andrew starts us off. Please, quick note, Andrew's audio got messed up in the recording for this segment, so there's some weird drops in there, and it's a little craggly, but I couldn't I had to include it because it's Andrew, and he always has something really fun and insightful to share. So forgive the audio quality, please. It cleans up in the next question. So let's check it out. Really? Why Dishonored?
The world that it takes place in is both old-timey and technologically advanced compared to what we have now.
Right.
The guard, I feel like he would have a relatively solid understanding of how all that stuff works.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the world is so well drawn and developed that there's a fun conversation to be had there.
That's really cool. I love that answer. I'm a big Dishonored fan as well. I just adore everything Arcane does. I haven't played their newest one, but I really like everything they do.
Finished it.
Yeah,
I platinumed it last Saturday, and I'm still playing it.
Of course you platinumed it. Yeah, you're so. Is it? So you like it? Was that Deathloop, right?
A character. Probably Samus. This is the first one that jumps to mind. Of course, having completed Metroid Dread not that long ago, I think Samus was one of the first female video game characters that proved that she didn't have to be a princess in another castle waiting to be rescued. She could go out and be the hero and be a great character first and foremost, and who just happened to be a woman. And so I think that there's probably so much more to Samus' story than Nintendo has bothered telling. And I think that would be a really interesting conversation.
It's interesting with Nintendo and Metroid. They keep telling the wrong story.
Right.
They tell lots of stories about Metroid, but nothing anybody cares about. Like, let's be honest. Does anyone care about the Chozo? Like, really? Another race of creatures? I agree. I think that'd be cool to really like that to get inside the mindset of that kind of female bounty hunter and some of that sort of character would be really, really cool. But no, we got Chozos and there's statues and armor. And
and stuff, I guess. Metroid seems like one of those IP that Nintendo has not known what to do with for a very long time. And I get it. Metroid sales are not equivalent to some of the other franchises that Nintendo usually works with. So, of course, they don't have a lot of motivation to keep going back to it. But, I mean, come on. The potential is still there. The fan base is still there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just think Metroid is one of those things where Nintendo is just always kind of shrugged their shoulders at for some weird reason. And
yeah,
I don't know. I guess maybe it's public perception. I don't know. But Dread, did you like Dread?
I did like Dread.
Okay.
One of my favorite games of the year.
Awesome. Very cool. All right, so we'll talk about that a little later because I definitely want to pick your brain. So Samus, awesome.
My immediate joke answer would be Kirby, but he would...
Why did I think that was going to be it? I almost...
We would just hang out for an hour and eat. I think that's what I would do. Yeah, I would enjoy to see a real life Kirby.
That would be cute. That'd be cool.
But an actual intellectual character that could actually talk to. Immediately, not thinking too hard, I'm thinking Shadow from Final Fantasy III. I guess 6.
That's a good one. Why Shadow?
His character always clicked with me in a weird way. And I think I've mentioned this before to you, but what's interesting about his role in the game, in the very beginning, he's very useful because he can steal for you and your team needs like whatever they can get. Right. But he only comes and goes when the money's right. And later on in the game, when he comes around, you might not even need him because your team has grown past him. And it's a very interesting mechanic, a very interesting story idea, because your team grows together, experience points wise, and just in the venture. And his skills kind of stay the same. His experience points actually stay behind, so you kind of outgrow him. And then later on, you do find him in his cabin with his dog, and that's kind of like, I don't know, it's just a lot to digest there. Very interesting.
It is. It's funny because he also towards the climatic battle, when the world of balance becomes the world of ruin on the floating continent, I think you can save him or something along those lines.
Yes, that's right.
You can wait to drop into the airship until the last second. and then do so, and that's when you can see him in World of Ruin.
Yeah.
Hanging out. And you're right. I don't remember him having less stats, but that makes sense. And it's like, do you bring this guy on just to, stick him in the airship and clean the floors with Gao?
But you pay him, and then you're like, and after a while, you don't need his services anymore. And it's kind of interesting, like as someone who's because I worked as a sole contractor for a long time. When you work for yourself, it's up to you to keep your own skills up. But when you work with a team, it's the team. The team keeps its skills up, and you kind of grow together as a team. And then certain teams might outgrow you, and it's a very interesting concept to think about. Yeah,
that is pretty interesting. Yeah, that's cool. And I also find it interesting that Shadow could just leave, especially early on, whenever he wants.
Yeah, he's not reliable.
No, he's completely unreliable. He's like, I'm done with this. Thank you.
It literally, he points to his watch. Time's up. I gotta go. You only paid me till 5. See ya.
I don't know if that's a random thing or not, but
it always
is pretty
seems random in the game. But
yeah. Last time I turned it on just to mess about with it, I got to that point where you get Shadow, you pay for him. He did 3 random battles and left. I'm like, dude, I threw you 2,000 gil. Like that's not. At this point in the game, that's not peanuts.
Very early in the game when you're navigating the Machina and all that, and just sort of kind of on the lam a little bit.
Yeah.
He's very useful because you need whatever you can find. He can steal from other people. And he has you can shadow people. Literally.
And he also can use weapons and such too. So
yeah, so he's
or I'm sorry, not weapons, items. So you can use shurikens and if you have anything that's throwing, he can use it.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. Because, my mind is immediately you got to go for someone that knows, magic so you can learn magic.
Yeah.
Right? Something that I can't normally do is, I can talk to anyone. I can talk to adventurers or whatever. I want to talk to someone that can do things that I can't do.
True, but if they taught you the spells, would you be able to do them, or do you need the magic powers in order to do the spells?
That's fair.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know.
Well, what category are you kind of thinking in? You're thinking like a wizard of some sort, maybe for magic spells or tricks.
Yeah, it'd be like Link or Chell or Chrono. It's all those silent protagonists that don't have anything to say.
But if you choose a silent protagonist, they are going to speak for you. They will. It's a conversation. Well. They'll talk to you. They may not talk to anybody else, but they'll talk to you.
All right, I got one, but it's a cheat.
Go for it.
So the cheat is that I would talk to Peter Parker from the Insomniac Spider-Man because I just want to talk to Spider-Man.
That's cool. That's not really a cheat. It is a video game character, a character that lives in a video game.
Yeah, it didn't originate in games.
It's not quite the spirit of the question, but I think that's a good one. Why would you want to talk to Peter Parker?
Oh, I've always been a Spider-Man fan, so just the being able to sit down and talk to him even about the stupidest crap, I think would be a blast.
Yeah, that does sound actually really fun.
Oh my god! There's a part of me that wants to throw a bunk answer like Donkey Kong. That would be great though.
Would it though? Because he would just sit there yelling at you for an hour.
Ooh, ooh, ah. You're like, ooh, I never thought of it that way. Yeah,
deep thoughts.
That's deep, Mr. Kong. I think maybe Samus actually might be a good one. Where
you took my answer. You know what? We are two of the same. We can't be on the same show. It doesn't work.
Tell you what. You go ahead and answer Samus, and I'll come up with someone else in the back of my head. Do you have?
Okay.
Give me 30 seconds.
So you're just going to throw me that answer. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Got it. All right. I would say Samus Aran, mainly because I'm playing Metroid Dread 2, which is a fantastic game. But again, to talk with her and just see, not only being a superhero, a female superhero in the world of all male-dominated superheroes, but just kind of get her. Hey, what's another planet like? Aliens are trying to kill you constantly. Your job seems kind of stressful. Are you ever gonna retire? What's the plan here? But I think that would be pretty cool to just sit down with her and just kind of talk it over about her life and how's it going, and she can rest one day.
Yeah, right. Will you ever be able to hang up the suit? Right, is the question. Yeah, I like Samus as an answer. Someone else actually has answered the same as well. Oh. And my thinking was with Samus was, I would love to hear her stories of the other things she's done, like other than Battle Metroids, because she's a bounty hunter. So she's had a bunch of gigs in the past before Nintendo even picked up on the story. So I would love to hear, like, what were some places you went to outside of Zeebs, outside of SR388? Like, what did you check out? That would be kind of really interesting. Because Nintendo keeps trying to tell they keep trying to tell Metroid stories.
Yeah.
And I don't know how Dread is as a story. I started playing as well. I'm like 2 hours in, so I'm not really in a story mode yet.
Gotcha.
But they keep telling the wrong stories of Metroid.
Yeah.
I don't. Let's be honest, guys. Can we all admit no one cares about the Chozo? Like,
It's
no
all
one
the
cares.
Chozos all the time.
No one cares about the Chozo. The Chozo stink. They're boring, and no one cares. So, anyway, Trevor, what do you got for me?
So I was thinking Aerith actually might be a really interesting interview.
That might be an awkward conversation.
We know what's going to happen. Yeah, it might be a bit more on level playing field if it's post-death, like Angel Aerith that kind of comes in afterwards.
Right.
I dig that. Yeah.
But my initial thought, it was almost like, the cool person to talk to would be Cloud. But when you see his interactions, like it's so shallow and he's got the distant bad boy thing going on. It's, you're going to get a lot of grunts and non-answers. Where it seems like Aerith is going to be able to drop some real zen, like balanced lifestyle type of advice to you. So it feels like she would, and with her connection to mana and everything else within the world, like you'd think that she's probably going to have some pretty good advice for you. So I think Aerith would make for an interesting interview.
That'd be interesting. Aerith over Tifa.
Yeah. Oh no.
I know. This is going to polarize a lot of people here. You do understand.
Well, I think Tifa would be more fun. Like if I have to go for beers with someone, I think Tifa would be, supportive, fun, like someone I'd want to. If you want to have a conversation and go terribly deep, it just with everything that Aerith is and what she represents and her history, connection to Earth, like that seems more fascinating to talk to. So to me, that seems like a very interesting interview. Tifa, if you had to choose someone to go and have a good time with, like let's go to a bar and then have fun, Tifa's probably your girl there.
Yeah, I could see you and Tifa on the boardwalk, in Jersey, kind of like playing skee ball and like this
Purely
really fun montage.
you
got cotton candy and each other. Yeah, that'd be great.
I'm a gaming dad, very happily married, purely platonic.
Yes.
Just to be perfectly clear here.
Yes, of course. Oh, of course, yes. It would be a friend date, of course. Very good. I like those answers.
Ooh, I have never been asked this. Oh boy, gosh, God, these are some answers that I would have questions that I'd have to really think about answers and have an answer prepared for it.
Sorry, man.
No, it's okay, it's okay. Oh my gosh, Mega Man.
Yeah, okay. Why would you want to sit down with Mega Man?
I want to know what he goes through. When he has to deal with all these robot masters that he deals with Dr. Wily. There was a time where he wasn't about to show mercy. He was actually about to kill a human. Spoiler alert for Mega Man 7 for those.
Right. Yeah.
And technically he was built to not harm humans. So, I just want to see what was going through his mind and, what he goes through knowing that he has to constantly deal with Wily. Does it, what is he thinking? How annoying does it get?
Right.
And I like
that.
I'm curious.
Yeah, kind of the character arc. That's an interesting arc, right? Going from something or someone that's programmed to not harm humans to that point where he almost feels like he has to. That is an interesting journey. I think that'd be cool. I like that. That's a very good one. I like that answer.
Oh my, that's tough because being a Nintendo fan, I'm like I don't really know how deep. You know what? Let's go Wario. Wario's an interesting character. What is inside that brain? Mario we get, right? Link doesn't really talk much, so he's probably not going to be super exciting, but Wario, that guy, the garlic obsession, what's up with that? Like, I love garlic too, but what's the deal, man? Let's go Wario.
I like Wario. That's good. And he's probably going to have some good stories, like just different conquests and
things,
for sure. victories and failures. It's that'll be an interesting. I like Wario. That's a very good one.
What makes that guy tick? I have no idea. I want to know.
Exactly.
Gosh, any video game character? You know what? And I thought you were going to say any video game creator. And I was going to be like, oh, I know who I want to talk to. But any video game character. In the spirit of what's recently been released, or announced at least, Multiverses. I don't know if you saw that today, was announced by Warner Brothers. It's like a Smash Brothers knockoff, but with Warner Brothers animation characters, I guess.
Wow, no, I didn't see this.
Yeah, so it has like, I mean, they were MGM, I guess. Warner Brothers owns them now, but
Sure.
Tom and Jerry, Bugs Bunny's in there, Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, some Adventure
cool.
Time characters. Yeah, it looks floaty, but Batman's in it, and Batman is a video game character. So let me say, because I was trying to think, if I was sitting with a video game character, I would want to pick the brain of somebody who's like really smart. And it is pretty hard to argue that Batman is, I mean, it's pretty hard to argue against the fact that Batman is one of the smartest characters in video games. I would love to talk to him about tactical stuff, about his gadgets, about how he does what he does, about his lifelong trauma.
Yes,
all that
of
sort of
course.
thing. Yeah. So
Batman's a good one. Yeah, I think that's a really, I think that's a good one because you would learn a lot. There'd be a lot of,
sure.
You just learn so much from Batman. I think that's actually a really, really good pick.
I would just be like, how do I start a business? just ask him advice on that. There you go. Super valuable.
Interesting question. So, like, my initial thought. So, usually when people ask me that question, it's always not that specific one, but like who you spend an hour with. It's usually like, who's the most intelligent or the most philosophically fulfilling. But I don't know. That's a tough one. For some reason or another, I don't understand why. In Dragon Quest or Dragon Warrior 4, there is one character that I am very fond of just because of kind of his backstory and the fact that he's doing what he's doing for his family. And it's a gentleman by the name of Taloon. So it's throughout the series, there's different chapters to that particular game. And one of the chapters is his. And he starts off as this merchant who's working for a guy who owns a shop. And you spend a fair portion of the beginning of this round selling stuff to people who are coming into the shop itself. But eventually it gets to the point where he goes off on a quest, looks to help other characters throughout the game, and just his enduring quality of somebody who is consistently altruistic and somebody who is continually looking for opportunities to help his family and himself, and the fact that his heart in the entire story is really what drives some of the narrative to that. And so just to kind of spend some time with the guy and just, in this day and age, as I become older, one of the things I start to recognize that I put a lot more clout in is people's ability to persevere or stand strong. So it'd be interesting to talk to him and say, hey, what advice do you have for me to learn?
Yeah, that's cool. I just pulled up a picture of him. He seems like a very affable guy. Like, he seems very pleasant to be around. Just kind of looks like a good dude. Yeah, not something you'd expect in Dragon Warrior, Dragon Quest rather.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's a cool pick. I like your heart behind that. That sounds pretty interesting. Very good. And you said that was lame. That's not lame. If you had said like Luigi, I mean, like, everyone who wouldn't want to spend some time with Luigi? Like, how's it feel being in the shadow of your brother? But that's a cool pick, man. I like that. Question number 2. This one is for the video game music fans out there. If you love video game music, this one might break your brain. And feel free to play along at home or in your car or wherever you're listening to this. What song or soundtrack would you have liked to have been playing at your birth, would like to have played or would like to play at your wedding, and would like to play at your funeral? So what song or soundtrack brings you into the world? What walks you down the aisle with your beloved? and what sees you off this mortal coil as you finally take your last breath. Not quite as morbid as I think I wanted it to be, but I think we all get the point. Once again, the order for this is Andrew in first, followed by Blue Williams, then Bobby, Michael K. Hughes, New Dad Gaming, Paul Tessie, Raji of Super Nintendo Bros, Moses, and then Ryan.
We've got a bunch of pop culture stuff at the wedding because we're planning the wedding currently.
Oh, cool. That's right. Yeah, totally.
We've got a bunch of like pop culture-y stuff, but not a ton of video game stuff. Probably something from Kingdom Hearts.
Okay. Are you a big fan of the series, or?
Yeah, most ridiculous way. I'm there's a fan base who defends it wholeheartedly, and I'm part of that subgroup that defends it by saying it's bonkers and insane.
So you like the fact that it is kind of just out there and yeah, just out there. I've never played a single game, so I don't know. I only know it by reputation. So
really late. Oddly, because of two people who you would not expect. I was on a TV show, and I was talking to the assistant editor, and he mentioned that I should play it. And while we were having the conversation, two cast members walked by, and those two cast members were Dee Snider from Twisted Sister and Odorous Arungus from Guar.
What? What? That's awesome.
Dee stopped and went, "Yeah, man, I play that game with my kids. It's great." And then Odorous goes, "You should really play that game."
So hang on a second. Dee Snider and Odorous. Oh, what's his last name? They both they play Kingdom Hearts.
That's the information I got, unless Josh set him up to do that, but I can't see that happening. They just happened to be nearby while we were having the conversation.
That's so funny.
They also both, for the record, chimed in on Final Fantasy VII.
Wow, Dee Snider, a gamer. That's crazy. The idea of Dee Snider playing video games, I don't know why. And whenever I hear like celebrities into that thing, which makes sense, right? Because celebrities are just people, they're into the same things we are. I don't know, it just makes me happy when I hear a famous person into the hobby.
Well, and he's at the right age break where he could have gone either way.
Sure.
It's like people a few years older than him were adults who were having children around the time that video games rose to prominence.
Right.
Or they could have been just young enough that they were, catching that wave still.
Yeah, totally. No, that makes perfect sense. It's just cool to hear. So for your wedding song, Kingdom Hearts, something from Kingdom Hearts. And then what about
I'd have to go through and pick something very specific because so much of that music is either really sad, overly happy, or really dark. But there's a few pieces that are a great mix that would work really well.
Perfect. Sounds awesome, man. And then your funeral, what would you like playing as you shuffle off the mortal coil, so to speak?
Because I'm a ridiculous human being, it'd probably be Wake Up, Get Out There from Persona 5.
Okay. I'm not, I feel like it sounds familiar to my, just when you said that, something came in my brain, but I never played Persona 5. I have to find it and I'll layer it in. Why that song?
Oh, because it's just such a great song, and it's weirdly upbeat and weirdly enthusiastic. It's the rally cry song. It's when you beat the crap out of someone in that game. That's the song that's playing to make you feel like hell yeah. I like the contrast there. That's the way that I do things. My fiance knows I like saying the most ridiculous thing at the worst time to say it. And that's the musical version of that.
I love that. I love the concept that most people I've asked that song to have chosen something celebratory or out there, just not what you would traditionally associate with like a funeral, which I think is good. I think that's actually a healthy, like, no, let's celebrate my time here on this earth. This is pretty awesome.
Well, yeah, I think that most people in the generation that we belong to we have an absurdist sense of humor. We were raised with that absurdist sense of humor.
Sure.
And so we apply that to everything.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I love that.
Wow. Okay. Geez. Okay, so I will go just again off the top of my head. I will go with Legend of Zelda, like the main Legend of Zelda theme.
Okay.
It opens up and it's like, hey, you're about to go on an adventure. So if a baby's being born, why not? Let's go on an adventure.
Cool. Okay. I like that. That has rationale and reasoning. That's cool. Good. Now, if you had a video game song for your wedding, I can't remember if you're married or not. I apologize.
I am.
Okay, you are. Okay.
Gosh, I don't know. Okay, no, I do know. Something from Final Fantasy X.
Ooh, okay.
Basically, my husband and I, our relationship began over Final Fantasy X.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so if ever you do a story or a show that has something along those lines, I can tell you that story, but definitely something from Final Fantasy X would be appropriate as a marriage song in my case.
Very cool.
And then, something for when your funeral. I'll go Kingdom Hearts, the menu theme, Dearly Beloved.
Okay. I don't know. I know nothing about Kingdom Hearts, but I'm sure a lot of people out there are high-fiving. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Why Kingdom Hearts? Is it just the sound of it, or is it just seems like it fits the mood?
You should definitely look it up. Definitely look it up, specifically that theme. It's a very pretty piece of music. It's a little bit melancholy, but there's also like hope and dreams kind of associated with it. So
very cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
If one must pick something for a funeral, that wouldn't be like a total bummer.
Which is good. I like that. Most people have asked us to have had something that was like melancholy, but not like a funeral dirge. Like, I want to have someone have a little bit of a hope, as a good way of putting it. Hope. That's nice. Mm-hmm. It's a nice
sentiment. That's crazy. At my birth. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
That I know music that I like, but I'm trying to think. I don't want anything playing at my birth. I want the doctors paying attention. Turn the music off. Yeah, I don't know. I unironically listened to Journey to Silas in my car.
Oh, yes.
Unironically listened to that soundtrack.
I've mentioned this on other questions of this. Journey to Silas. Yeah, man.
Such a good soundtrack.
So maybe, so what about your wedding? At birth, you're like, just be quiet. I don't want to deal with it. What about your wedding? What song would lead you down the aisle with your beloved?
God. Well, with her permission?
She has no say in it whatsoever.
Oh, wow.
It's only
fantasy.
you get to pick the DJ, the beer list, and the entrance song. That's your job at the wedding.
God. Yeah. I'm having a hard time with this. I don't know. I can't.
All right.
Yeah. I'm a traditionalist with weddings.
Fair.
I just stick with the march. I was at a wedding and they were like playing like an instrumental song from Nine Inch Nails, the Fringe.
Okay.
It was that weird little like instrumental part that plays in between two songs. I forgot the name. It might be called like the Void or something.
Oh, maybe.
And it was but it was so ominous and strange to walk down the aisle to, and everyone's kind of looking around like that. Oh, did it start? Like they were all so confused. But I'm the only one like I know that song. Yeah. But why did they pick this?
Yeah, from The Fragile, I think is the
Fragile, yeah. I don't remember the name of the song, though.
Well, how about maybe something from Legend of Zelda? Like there's some pretty cool kind of like triumphant sort of I don't know, walking songs.
Yeah, walking, like marching songs. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of. Because like I love the Silent Hill 2 and 3 soundtrack, but I wouldn't walk down the aisle to that.
Well, that'd be great for your death, perhaps.
Maybe
those might be good.
Ghostly.
Yeah, see, terrify everybody.
It's a strange mix of ghost noises and trip hop, and it's very cool. A lot of it's very good. But and then there's like the main themes that are very bombastic and big. But again, not that's good. Yes, that was the one of the for my funeral. That was one of the questions.
Yes, that's the final in your funeral.
All right, I'll go with Silent Hill 2 for now.
There we go.
With my gut. But to walk and march. Oh man, I mean, again, I'm sure I could dig through Final Fantasy and find anything because they always had great.
Oh
scores.
Yeah.
And some great orchestral stuff that would work perfectly. And that's I know the answer's there. I just have to give it a thought.
That's fine. Again, I spring these on people. If there's no good answer, that's perfectly fine.
I love it. No, I love the gut. I love gut answers that I have to rethink an hour later, going no.
This should be such an easy question because there's only so much video game music. It's not a vast, indifferent, infinite universe. Damn.
These are warm-ups. These are to get you thinking. This batch of questions, by the way, is much harder than the first one, I think. My first batch. I think they are, because most people are having trouble with this one than they were at the first batch. But anyway.
Was part of your first batch the thing you asked us for the episode, whatever?
Yep.
Yeah. 50K. That was it.
Yep.
Birth would be just the Final Fantasy fanfare. I feel like that's fitting.
Yeah. I dig. Yep. Final Fantasy fanfare.
Yeah. It's like pop out. Ta-da.
I love that. That's good. What about your wedding? Now, if you had a video game soundtrack.
We did not. We had a Disney soundtrack, more or less.
Oh, that's cool. Well, you could do Kingdom Hearts then. It's basically the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, right. There's something from Final Fantasy X that's along those lines, but I can't remember which track it is.
So Final Fantasy X, okay.
Yeah, there's some kind of love theme in that.
The love theme from Final Fantasy X.
Sure.
Perfect.
We'll go with that.
That'll work. Excellent. And now, as you lay on your deathbed, staring into the stars, what is playing in the background? Or actually, not your funeral. No, you're already dead, so you don't even get to hear it. What's playing at your funeral? You could troll your family and play something just horrendous, like, the theme to Bart Simpson and the Space Mutants or something.
Oh, God.
And be like, yeah, I want everyone to just despise me as I...
Well, the moment I die, it's got to play the Mega Man sound effect when you defeat a robot master, just the pew, pew, pew.
Nice. Like that? Yeah.
Yeah, and then just do the weapon get sound after that.
Nice. Excellent.
Someone takes on my powers.
You have gotten inheritance. All right, I love those answers. Those are great. Very good answers.
Oh, this is easy. I got this.
Oh,
okay.
Wow, okay.
Mainly because I've been listening to the soundtrack through remote work. So I have the soundtrack going while I'm at work, and it's The Last of Us. I find that the best the music is both haunting. So for your funeral, you got the haunting music, but then you got like that tearjerker kind of sound to it as well. So that could be the wedding part, and even the birth part could be a little bit of the mix of the both, where it's that the dread and the happy kind of, like the guitar in it. I think it's Gustavo Santinella that does the soundtrack. The guitar to it is fantastic. So it kind of sends like these ripples of memories that I think could apply to all three of those events quite nicely. So that was like my first go-to is the Last of Us soundtrack.
Very cool. That's the quickest anybody has come up with an answer. That's amazing.
Yay!
Well done. Trevor, what do you got, man?
Jeez,
It's a fairly deep question just to throw on people, man. This is very hostile.
I know. I know. It's funny. I the first round of 3 questions were not equally the same kind of thing. I feel bad. Honestly, take your time with it. I can cut these out and like cut that. I can make it sound like you have an immediate answer.
Nah, this is much more fun. So tell you what. So let's go with birth. Let's go with Mario, like Mario 1, because it's just starting. It's super happy and joyous. Dun 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 dun. Birth.
Yeah.
Dun, dun. That could work. It's a baby. So wedding, like I absolutely adore any of the music from Supergiant Games, especially from Bastion and Hades. Bastion, like I've listened to, like just on my playlist, it's there all the time. Like that's when I always come back and listen to. It's like Build a Wall and Set Sail. I'd probably want to lean for that on the wedding, but unfortunately it's not exactly a very romantic like get-together song. But as far as sentimental, emotional, slow, like that much I like. So I can't exactly agree with the lyrics for it, but at least from the emotion it pulls, that would definitely be it. So most anything from Supergiant Games and especially Bastion. Mm-hmm. And Funeral would be pretty sweet to be lowered down with some Halo themes.
Ooh, okay. Wow. That's actually pretty cool. Like all that. Yeah.
Especially if everyone like joins in singing. Get you going down.
That's great. Yeah, I could see some Halo. That'd be pretty good.
Pretty powerful way to go out, I think.
And it's funny when you're talking about Supergiant for your wedding. I was thinking the exact same thing as you guys were kind of hemming and hawing. Because I don't have great answers for this question. That's the benefit of asking them. I really don't have good answers. But I was thinking, Supergiant would be good, like something from Transistor, or I'm playing actually Pyre right now.
Oh,
and
nice.
And Pyre, it's a good game. A game I wish I liked a lot more than I do. But that has some music in it too. I mean, it's always the same team that does it, and man, just so good. So that's an excellent pick. Excellent pick.
Ooh. Let's see. At my birth, the first thing that comes to mind is any kind of jingle where you pick up an item.
Yeah.
It could be Zelda, it could be Secret of Mana, it could be Final Fantasy, just some sort of jingle that, hello, I'm brought into this world.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I love that.
Something like that. It's just I can't think of any other.
That's good. An item collection jingle.
Answer.
Cool.
Yeah.
Item collection jingle. What about your wedding? What would bring you and your beloved together? What would be the song?
I have. I don't know if this is going to sound weird or cool, but I have a few songs.
Okay.
That I would wouldn't mind to have played at my wedding. One of them would be, actually these are covers by a gentleman that I watch on YouTube that does piano covers. He did a cover of Sealed Door from Chrono Trigger.
Wow.
He did a cover of Eyes on Me from Final Fantasy VIII, and oh my god, I love what he did with that song. It's just
cool.
It's so nice. Whisper and Mantra from the Secret of Mana remake, specifically the remake.
That's cool.
Oh god, I could probably think of a few others that are just, that would take me a little bit of time to think, but I know there are others.
Yeah, but I totally get that vibe. Yeah, I totally get that vibe. Kind of, it's almost a, not whimsical, that's not the word I'm thinking of, but kind of joyful, but still has that bit of gravity to it. Yeah, I can totally see those. Those are really cool. Good picks, man. And then finally, since we're talking about funerals, oh, your funeral. Sorry, what was your funeral song?
Well, I've never thought that far ahead.
As they lower you into the ground, what song do you want played at your passing?
Oh,
not if it's too grim. I mean, I also have a grim.
No. I totally get it. Oh gosh. God, that's a tough one. Maybe, and this is a very biased answer, but maybe the credits theme to Ninja Warriors.
I don't think I know it off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's not a well-known song. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not something that pops like, like Liberty Fatale from Final Fantasy VIII. You know, that very beginning of of the game. It's not something memorable. Oh boy.
Okay, well, I'll probably, if that's your pick, yeah, I'll play that. I play that underneath this, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. They have the one from the Super Nintendo.
Okay.
And then there was Ninja Saviors, the remake. I'd say specifically the Super Nintendo version.
Okay. Cool, man.
Oh my gosh, maybe the entrance. It's probably going to be the Legend of Zelda music because, and I'm talking like the original theme is great, those early games, but around that Ocarina of Time era, some classic themes. And I don't know if have you ever heard of the those symphonic renditions, or like there's actually a symphony that toured and does tour that plays just the Legend of Zelda themes throughout all their games. I'm going to say probably. I don't know where the Zelda's ballad is going to go, or Zelda's lullaby, that main theme. That was probably going to be the marriage one. Maybe when we get married, it's Zelda's lullaby.
Cool.
We could go Saria's song for the birth song, because that's just a really good upbeat, kind of light, makes it feel like springtime theme.
Yeah.
The death one, that's got to be a sad one. What is that one going to be? Maybe the Ocarina of Time intro jingle, like that not even a jingle, that song.
Yeah, that really kind of, not mournful, but like a thoughtful almost.
Yeah, it's got that distant like flute or whatever. That one like symphonically would be beautiful. Or if I could think longer on it. Wind Waker's got some good music too. I'm sure I could pick out something in there.
Wind Waker for sure.
Twilight Princess too, actually. I've got to say, a pretty banger soundtrack on that one too.
That's funny. I haven't played Twilight, I think, since it came out. It was one of those I played one and done and really never revisited. But there's Zelda, and actually, you're talking about that It's the 20th anniversary. If you're talking about that, the symphonic 20th anniversary, thing. Actually, one of my previous guests, who I actually just spoke to yesterday or 2 days ago, he worked on that. He's an audio engineer, and he worked on those soundtracks and actually helped pick some of the songs that they were, suggested music, and yeah. So
that is cool. I was going to say I should divulge. I'm not only just a music fan, like I am a musician by trade. I grew up with music. I did music through school. I've been in bands up until we started our family. Then we on purpose kind of changed that tone because I didn't want to be out, out at a club at 2 a.m. on a Saturday. I wanted to be with the family more. But I mean, as a lover of music, that's probably why I have such passionate love for music.
Oh, okay. So it's a 3-part question in 3 questions. So I did have video game music at my wedding. I almost said funeral. Yeah. I managed to. We, everybody's on a budget for a wedding unless you're a billionaire,
Sure.
I guess. So, to save costs, we're like, we don't need to hire a cringy DJ. Anyway, I'll just put together like a list of music and we'll both kind of, sign off on it or what have you.
Sure.
So, my wife actually walked down the aisle to the Hans Zimmer piece, Time, from Inception, that kind of builds on itself until it reaches a crescendo.
Cool.
We cut the cake to 2001: A Space Odyssey's Thus Spake Zarathustra.
Yeah.
And video game music was absolutely in there. My wife and I danced to Theme of Love from Final Fantasy IV. It was a string quartet that played it. Not live, but...
but that's still cool.
Yeah, it was fun. Birth. Gosh, that's a hard one. I think Birth is the harder one. So I'm going to say Death.
That's good.
Apotheosis from Austin Wintory from the Journey soundtrack would I think be excellent. That or Corridors of Time from Chrono Trigger, of course.
Yes. That'd be a good one too.
Yeah, that's a 10-hour video soundtrack. Like I could just put that on and just let it run for 10 hours. So the Birth, though, that's hard. Baby Park from Mario Kart. I don't know. I don't know.
What would you like? Like something that announces your entry into the world, right?
Yeah.
Something that's kind of like, here's Moses. Like what would you?
You know what? I really like the song "Introduction" from Cuphead by Christopher Madigan. Cuphead has an excellent song. Maybe maybe Prelude from the Final Fantasy series. Multiple iterations of the
that
Prelude.
might be nice.
Yeah,
That'd be
Uematsu
very nice.
at the start of one's existence. That'd be excellent. Now, what about at conception?
Well, listen, that almost gets too personal. I mean, I'm talking about.
You paused for a second like it was a serious question.
I know. My brain said pause. Wait, no, just
No,
stop.
no,
Just
no.
Don't pause on that. Please don't. That's awesome.
I'm a huge fan of video game music.
Oh, cool.
So this question is right up my alley, I think. So Funeral would be Glenn's song from Chrono Trigger.
Very good. Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, I love
Even
that.
though, interestingly enough, I grew up with an Irish family, so an Irish wake isn't always like a sad event.
No.
But during the ceremony, maybe.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a little, but an Irish wedding is, or wedding, geez, an Irish funeral is definitely a more lively experience. It's
Indeed.
not as dour as a lot of other, cultures. Sure. Yeah. So definitely. Yeah.
Involves a lot of consumption of adult beverages.
Oh boy, does it.
So let's see here. Wedding. I know this is kind of corny. The opera song in Final Fantasy VI.
It's okay. Listen. It's cool. Hey,
Yeah.
there's an orchestra playing that song. It's a good piece of music. Yeah.
And
I can see that.
And in that context of the actual game itself, I've never run into that prior to playing Final Fantasy VI, where that like game mechanic was used in order to kind of transfer the story, which I thought was really well done. So
Yeah.
there's obviously a part of that. And Birth, huh? Let me see here. Okay. Rock and roll racing. Right?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Rock and roll racing.
Born to be wild. Right?
Okay.
So there you go.
I love it.
Don't have to go too far into context with that one.
Wow, I love it's the rock and roll racing. Wow, that's a video game. That's not, I don't know if it's a deep cut. I mean, obviously the song's not, but the rock and roll racing.
Oh yeah.
Wow, very nice. Well done on the 3 questions. And finally, question number 3. Speaking of death and the end of your life, you are about to retire. You have lived a full life of challenges bested and things conquered and just a full life lived. And you're ready to retire. What video game location do you retire to?
That's a hard one too, because you want to, there are the places you love, but the places you love may not be a great place to live.
Sure.
You know, like, for instance, the Mushroom Kingdom, you love being there, but that's also a place that's constantly under attack and in danger.
Right.
So you don't want that.
Correct. And that's the interesting thing, too, because all the locations we love in video games are usually filled with strife. There's something going on there that we probably don't want to be a part of.
Yeah, like Midgar from Final
exactly.
Fantasy VII. Is like, you love that game, but you don't want to live in that place.
No.
You know what? Probably the Citadel from Mass Effect.
Okay, I like that concept. Why the Citadel?
Because it's a futuristic place where you have access to new technologies. It's a relatively clean place, and outside of the huge invasion that's getting ready to take place in the Mass Effect series, it's a relatively safe place. I mean, the reason that place is sort of the center of everything is because nothing bad ever really happens there.
That's true. That's very true.
So if you're going to retire, you could retire there feeling pretty safe about it.
Yeah.
And then you have access to all the future technology and all the alien races. And
yeah, that's true. That's a very good pick. I always think, because I think when I get older, I'm going to want to unplug. I think I'm going to want to go the opposite route. I always think Besaid in Final Fantasy X would be good, because although I'm not much of a beach person, just that the idea of wind and like almost like a Hawaiian kind of beautiful breeze all the time. And in that era, in Spira, things only go bad once every 1,000 years or so when Sin returns. So I figure I only got like 20 years left. So chances are I'm going to be okay as far as demons and bad things happening.
Yeah, you'd have to. I mean, it would literally be like a 1 in 1,000 chance that you're there during that time. So yeah.
Yo, I don't know.
Well, here's what I would do. Like, for example, would you want to be someplace like tropical, someplace cold, someplace that is? Are you a city gal, or like, like I would. There's not many video game cities that are represented well. I mean, they're usually all dystopian nightmares, but
right.
I'm sure there's one technological marvel out there. I mean, you're talking about Final Fantasy X, maybe Besaid might be nice. Where Waka's from, little oceanside hamlets.
That's fair.
I'm not a big fan of the heat, but if it's like Hawaiian, what it looks like, it's always gorgeous weather.
I will say Hyrule.
Hyrule.
Yeah.
Huh.
I know. Okay. I know that it is a land that is prone to horrible disaster, constantly, continually. But I loved the Hyrule in Breath of the Wild, especially because it was so open, it was so sparse. You could just run around and do whatever you wanted in all kinds of different climates and landscapes. If you like forest, if you like hot, you like cold, whatever, you like the ocean, it's all there. So Seeing as I can't decide, I'll pick Hyrule.
You'll pick Hyrule. I just like that because, and also the implication of that is it's not going to be here a very long time. I mean, 20 years tops, retirement. So if something really kicks off in 20 years, the chances are pretty slim. And everything in Hyrule happens like once every 1,000 years, right? It's like once every 1,000 years.
The odds are in your favor. So
the odds are ever in your favor. So I think that's a pretty good pick. I like that a lot because you do have a lot of biomes. That's good.
First thing that pops to my mind is the Donkey Kong Island, Donkey Kong N64 for some reason. I don't know why.
DK Island?
Yeah.
Well, it's tropical, right? There's lots of like a tropical vibe. You love the beach.
I love the beach, yeah. I thought of an island, and that was the first one I thought of.
Yeah.
And I hope they're there, too. That sounds fun.
Yeah, hang out with Donkey Kong, and who's the one with the flappy arms? I can't remember.
Lanky Kong.
Is that really his name is Lanky Kong?
I think so.
That's pretty awesome.
Oh man, that's easy. So
see?
Yeah, this is the easy one. Because like there's always like, what video game world would you want to live in? And it's always just anywhere in Pokemon. Just I want to just be a trainer. I'll be a gym leader. Whatever. Just put me in the world of Pokemon. Kanto, Ho, and Sinnoh, whatever.
Very nice. And that's your answer for this one. In the land of the world of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't get my magic
like
powers,
that.
but I get little pets. So.
And I like that too, because as I was thinking about this question, I realized that most video game locations are fraught with something.
Oh yeah,
like
they're all terrible.
Yeah, they're all really bad. Like bad things are happening there, or else they wouldn't be a video game location. But Pokemon's good. Like it's Pokemon or whatever they call it. It's laid back. It's cute little creatures everywhere.
Yeah, you get the attacking teams, but Team Rocket, whatever.
Yeah, but that's
if they can all be beaten by 10-year-olds, then I think I'd be fine.
I think you're in good shape.
Okay. Can I say Costa del Sol in Final Fantasy VII? I'll go there.
Okay. I don't remember the location off the top of my head. What's why'd you pick that one?
It's a beach. It's got tropical weather. There's dolphins. You actually have to ride a dolphin to one of the top of the ledges. And there's little marketplaces, and there's music, and it just feels like it's one big vacation. So that to me is like, maybe it's like Florida plus, right? So instead of just like that old retirement place, it's got a little bit of fun to it. So
very good.
Yeah, let's go with any of the beach locations on a Pokemon game.
Ooh. That's a good one. Yeah, I like that.
Because money doesn't seem to be much of an issue. It's beachy and sunny. Everyone seems to have a house without much of an issue. It's a beach, which doesn't seem to have any kind of weather patterns. It's always beautiful outside with everything bouncing to the music. So I think any beach location from a Pokemon game should serve you pretty well. Plus, like, heck, if you get cold, you bring in a Charizard. If you need a recharge on your phone, Pikachu's your buddy. You got everything you need.
Oh my, that's a tough one too. Do I have to keep in the Nintendo world? I'm trying to think.
No, anything, any video game location doesn't matter.
I would say just because I love outer space and in sci-fi stuff, it would be really cool to visit like one of the planets in Metroid. But I don't know if you'd want to live there.
Oh, I don't
especially,
know.
How creepy that is. But how cool would it be to see another planet? I don't know. I'm not saying that's my answer.
Right.
I guess just the first thing that comes to memory that it's not a Nintendo game. Can I go off the beaten track? Of
course.
Here?
Yeah, by all means.
I want to go back to Kamaro Cho, which is featured in Yakuza. I played through Yakuza 0 this year.
Okay.
And so basically think Japan 1988.
Oh, that's cool.
I've never been to Japan. I would love to someday go there. Mm-hmm. So that would be a really cool place to retire or expire, as it were, right?
Retire and expire. That's good though.
More interesting than the Mushroom Kingdom, I think.
For sure. Yeah, I don't know the game, but just that kind of idea of 1988 Japan sounds really rad. I like that.
Oh yeah. The music, the sights, the sounds, it's all there.
Yeah, man.
Any location?
Any location.
Oh my gosh. If not for its rigid caste system, Kingdom of Zeal from Chrono Trigger. of course.
If not for that little thing called
right. If not for the sheer villainy of it, it's a beautiful place.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It's fantastic. The village of Arnie, Chrono Cross, somewhere near the ocean, I think would be where I'd want to retire.
Okay.
Ocean's very much part of my life. I don't know. Somewhere, it's like I've got to be near. I feel like I need to be near some kind of civilization and not so far removed into like this village that's just, just there by itself surviving. Like I'm over kind of trying to do like the farm life and living off the grid and stuff. I grew up like that. So I don't want to do that again. I don't know if there's a mix of the Kingdom of Zeal and Arnie Village. I'd love to see it. I'm sure there's some excellent like oceanic cities and towns, not Rapture from BioShock. I don't want to.
Yes, I want.
And we don't want to do that in this thing.
No.
I got it.
So go ahead. Yeah.
Your own private island from Animal Crossing: New Horizons.
Ooh,
there it is. Because
is
you
that
can
like a
build
cheat?
the
Is
civilization.
That a cheat kind of thing?
No, it ain't. It's a location, and you can invite other animals to live there, and you can build your own civilization. You got your own private museum. You have all these services that are dedicated to making island life the best, and you have peace and quiet. But you also have a smartphone, so it's great.
That's good. Perfect. Oh, that's perfect. You have connectivity.
Yeah,
I dig that. That's cool. My previous guest actually said anywhere in the world of Pokemon. That's pretty good.
Oh, keep it busy. Yeah.
Very pleasant.
Yeah,
very nice. Definitely. I mean, you could even say. I was just thinking. You could say. What's the name of it? The opening town in Earthbound. Usually things are pretty good there.
Why not? Ooh, Summers. If you got
Summers
money.
might be nice. Yeah, gotta have some cash to go to Summers, but
Yeah. Well, hopefully you retired and you saved up and you could move to Summers.
Good point.
That's
exactly.
Waikiki essentially. So I mean,
yeah, it really is.
I'd like to move there, sure.
Ooh, that's a good question. And immediately what comes to mind is Costa del Sol in Final Fantasy VII.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Right? So the reason that comes to mind is, for one, you can buy an apartment there as long as you have, I think it's 300,000 gil.
Can you really?
Yep,
oh,
you
man,
can buy an
forever.
apartment. And you know what? It's totally worthless in the game because it's just a place for you to sleep. Right? So
right.
All things considered, you can do that for much cheaper anywhere else in the game. But also, for something about the music in there it's very calming and chill. Obviously the patronage of that town is also pretty laid back, so I would imagine that. And you know what? Hojo seems to think it's pretty great. So I think that's where I'm gonna find myself.
Nice. Obviously, Final Fantasy VII. As long as you don't end up at the Honeybee Inn, I think.
Yes.
I don't think anyone needs to go there. Anywhere but that.
Such
I
a
think.
weird section of a game.
Why? And it's early in the game too, if I remember correctly. It's like first 5 hours.
Yeah, Wall Market right there.
Yeah, exactly. Very strange. Very
so
good.
So you can get some underwear because that's definitely needed.
Right.
People see your underwear right away.
Immediately. First thing. Thank you so much for listening to A Gamer Looks at 40. I hope you like this type of show. I hope you like this 3 questions format. I think it's a fun way of getting lots of different opinions and insights and voices on the show because that's all I'm about. You know, I love having just different opinions and viewpoints on these different episodes, which is why I do what I do. As much as I love the single person stories, I think they're fascinating. This is a fun part of the show as well. If you like this, or even if you don't like this, I need to know these things. Please reach out to me on Twitter at A Gamer Looks at 40. Also, like, review, subscribe, all that fun stuff would be a wonderful holiday gift. Maybe you're just finishing up your holiday giving and you're like, you know what? I got a spot in there for old Bill at A Gamer Looks at 40. I'm going to give that man a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. I hope I am one of them. Quick show note, because of the holidays, I should have a little quick something on the 27th. which happens to be my birthday, which is neat. I'm hoping to have a little Christmassy thing for that day. And then on the 3rd will be a really big announcement. It's not going to be a full show. I'm not going to be in the state. I'm going to be on vacation for New Year's. So no access to my home computer, no access to recording. I hope to be back on the 10th time allowed. And on the 10th, we'll be starting PC gaming, talking about early PC gaming. We're going to be talking about Lucasfilm. We're going to be talking about Doom and id Software. We're going to be talking about the N64, and that'll probably take us well into February. It's going to be a busy year. It's going to be a fun year. It's going to be a great year, all because you guys are involved. So thank you so much for your listenership now, from the beginning and going forward. And until next time, have an amazing holiday season.